Hi everyone, this is Cody, W3AMG. Today we're going to be doing a live stream to help each and every one of you, so thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a great time today. Before we get started, we'll do a few quick announcements and then do some shout outs. So today what we're going to be going over is the radios, the AnyTone handheld radios. This is going to apply to the mobile radios too. And we're going to be going over some kind of tips and tricks to make the radios more efficient, more user-friendly, and better for you guys. So today we're going to go through some of the custom buttons that you can add. That way you can actually program all the different buttons to do different items that you specify. So we're going to show you how to do that, and then I'm going to show you the buttons that I personally use on a daily basis. Before we do that, let's go through a few quick shout-outs. So let's see here. Who do we have in the house this morning? Let's see, Richard, KD9KIW. Good morning, Richard. James, oh, missed your call sign. We have John, K7KLY. Good morning, John. Nate, KC3. Oh, missed the rest of that. Good morning, Russ, in4RTD from Florida. Rodney, WG4USA. Here again, awesome, good morning. Mark, WD4LWD, good morning. Let's see, we have Steve, KD2OFD, good morning, Steve. Michael, NC3PO. Let's see, who else? We have a Mike, KD2SXD. Tim, KC1TWR. Greg, in3GDS from Maryland. Let's see, who else do we have? Jim, AA9YS from Mississippi. Awesome. Well, thank you all for showing up. Wouldn't be possible without you. This is a great opportunity for you to learn more about your radio, or if you're interested in radio, learn what it's all about. So before we get started, we are running a giveaway right now. We're running the Ham Radio Heavyweights giveaway, where it's worth over $3,000 of ham radio equipment that you could win. So make sure you sign up for that. But more importantly, right now on this stream, we are actually today going to give away a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus radio. We're giving one of these away today. Now you do have to be present to win, so make sure you stick around, but make sure you enter that giveaway. The link should be in the description and all around the stream here. So make sure you enter that if you want to have a chance to win this radio today. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have a couple radios here. This one is already set up, and I'm going to move this aside because we probably won't be using that today. This one is all set up with the, just the preferences here that we're going to be talking about. In this radio, I've completely reinitialized it, so it is brand new in the software state. So we're going to initialize that and start from a clean slate. So all of these options are completely optional to you, what you like, what your preference is. But I'm going to be showing you what works best for me, and then we're going to go over a couple more options after that. So let's see, you get the radio turned on here. Now there's a couple things that aren't on the list that I like to do whenever I get a new radio, which is just to increase the timeout time. So I'm going to go to settings. And to do that, just from a basic level, you press the menu button, so just under menu or the green button. You press that, and then you can use this middle button to scroll up or down. So we're going to go down to settings and select. And then if you ever want to go back out of a menu, you press the P2. That backs you out, and then the green button will enter. Red can also act as a back button, but sometimes it acts as a delete button. So I typically just use P2 to back out. So go ahead and select, and now we are going to select radio set. And from here, I'm going to select display func, which is display function, and increase the light time. Now what that's going to do is make it so the screen doesn't time out on us. Another thing I like to do here is under that display menu, I like to increase the, menu exit time. Now what that will do for you is stop it from backing out of menus as fast. So we're just going to max that out at 60. That way, if I'm in a menu here, I have a lot more time to think about it and decide before I have to make my selection. Just makes it a lot easier to use. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the actual keys. So we're going to go down the list here. There's a few things we can go over. First, let's start with the color of the text. Why not? So over here we can see we have multicolored text. So we have a different color for the zone and a different color for the channel. So if I scroll through my channel, I can see that's in green, but the zone is in more of an orange. Now this is great because it's very easy to distinguish between your channel and your zone. Now over here, we don't have, everything's white. You know, if you get it from the factory, it's going to be like this. Now if you get one of our like super code plugs with the plug and play package, we do a little bit of customization for you, make the background color look cool, stuff like that. But you may still want to change this, but certainly if you just got the radio itself, you would definitely want to customize this. So to do that, we're going to go into the menu, go down to settings, and we'll go to radio set. Now at this point, we'll go to display once again, and we're going to go to color. So we have a few different options here. You can change pretty much any of the text color. So we're going to change the color A. Now I like to make this one, let me see here, so this is for the channel. So typically I would change those colors to green. So we'll go back there, and then A and B, that's just going to be your VFO A and your B, which we'll show you here in a second. And then I like to make the zone color, let's see, orange, which kind of shows up. It's a bit of it's not really a neon orange, it's more of a bland orange, but it works well, it's easy to see. Some of the colors like the yellows and sometimes the reds, they can be difficult to see. So there we go, perfect. So we're in VFO mode. You can see your VFO A and VFO B. So if we press P2 to switch out of VFO, now we can see the zone and the channel. That brings up a good point. If we have a name for our channel, like over here on this radio, you can see I have the weather channels programmed in. So let's say I have a name for my channel. Right now it only displays the frequency, which is going to be very difficult to navigate, through your different channels if all you see is the frequency. So we're going to fix that. So you go back in the menu and go to settings. We'll go back to radio set. It's all going to be under the same place, either key function or display func, which is what we are working with right now. So we'll go in there, and I'm going to change this channel name from frequency to channel. Now what this is going to do, if I select that, this is going to allow me to only see the actual channel name instead of the frequency. This makes it real convenient for actually sorting through your channels. Now this just has the standard channels in here, yet we don't really have any names, but you can see already we can actually see what's going on. That allows us to switch between them and see more than just a frequency. Now there's quite a few things here I want to cover. I personally like to turn off this VFO A or B being shown at the same time. Now the way to do that is we'll go in here, go back to settings, and let me see, we'll go to radio set and display, and scroll down here. I believe it's called subchannel hide. Now if we select this option, we can turn subchannel hide off, just like that. And perfect, now we can only see the one. This makes your display a lot less cluttered, and you can still utilize your second channel and just not have it displayed at the same time. And I'll show you how we can do that. So over here on this radio, if I hold down the P2, I turn on subchannel, it actually turns it on. Now if I hold it down again, it turns it off. So over here, if I hold down P2, nothing happens. So what we would do is go into our settings once again, and this time we're going to go to radio set and then key function. Now key function allows you to change all of these options. So P2, let's find P2 on here. There's P2, but this is short. So short versus long means a short press is just a single press, and long means you actually hold the button. So what I want to do is set it up for a long press. Now obviously you can customize these to however you like, you know, whatever your preference is. Now personally for me, this is the way I set it up. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. But you can, you know, you can customize this to your heart's content. You can really do a lot of cool things with these. So let's go back over here. We are going to set this to sub-channel hide. See, it should be in here. There we go, sub-channel hide. Perfect. So now if we back out here, we can hold down that P2. Sub-channel on. There we go. Hold it down again. And sub-channel turns off. How cool is that? So we've got that set up. Now at this point, let's go back into settings. And let's customize a few more buttons. So I like to set the transmit power. Now, actually, I'll back out real quick. Currently, over on this side of the radio by the push to talk button, there's two buttons down below. These are programmable as well. Now, the way they're set up currently, the top one let's see what it does. It displays the voltage, the battery voltage. Some of you like that, some don't. Personally, I don't really care so much about that, because I have a battery indicator up here that does a pretty good job. I don't really need to know the battery voltage. Now, down below it, we have the analog. It basically opens up the squelch all the way. It's a monitor. We can hear that there. So I actually like that. I'm going to leave that one alone. But for the top button, I'm going to change it because I don't really care about the battery voltage, and we can make it do a lot more than that. So let's go ahead and change it to adjust the power, because if you're on a channel, obviously over here, the NOAA weather channels, we won't be talking on them. But let's say you're on a channel that you are talking on, and let's say it's a hotspot channel, and you might need to increase your power. Probably not for a hotspot, but maybe you're talking on a local repeater, and you live really close to the repeater, so you have it set to low power or maybe medium power. But then you travel a little bit, you go to the store and you want to talk on your radio, and you can't hit it. So you're going to need a way to bump up that power. Now, if you don't have this set up, you'd have to go in the menu, go find the power level, change it, or even worse, go to the CPS and do it. Now, what this will do, you can just toggle that button and it will change the power for you. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick. Go to settings, channel set. Radio set and key function. So this is, I believe it's PF1. We'll verify that here in a second. PF1 short, TX power. Okay. Okay, that must be, I sometimes get those confused. So we'll go back in here, radio set. PF2 short. Must be PF2. Yep, because that's set to monitor. Well, no, that's right, monitor. Okay, so no, we're in good shape. We did that correctly. So now that changes the transmit power. This button up here, we can see that. It's going to change the transmit power. We can see it cycling through up top. We have turbo, low, medium, and high. So that's super convenient. Now, down below, we still have our monitor. But what about digital monitor? So I actually like to set the PF1 to do digital monitor as well. Now, the way we can do that is we already have it programmed to change the power level. But what we can do is go in here to radio set and go back to key function. And then we're going to look for PF1 long. So PF1 long. Now at this point, we can set that to digital monitor, which I want to say it's like option 26. Yep, digital monitor. There we go. Perfect. So now here, if we hold that down, it turns on digital monitor. Hold it down again. Switches from single slot to double slot. Hold it down one more time, and it switches it back off. Perfect. There we go. So now we have these buttons set up to basically do as much as we can have them do. So let's keep going. So we have our P2 switches between the VFO and channel, just like normal. I like to leave that alone. It just makes sense. And then P1 over here, that switches between your VFO. Let's see, currently does the same thing. So that's somewhat pointless at this point. So let's go ahead and do some modifications to P1. So what I like to do for P1 is, let me see here, I actually like to make P1, the long press, be a scan. So I'm going to go into menu and select radio set, and let me see, go to key function, and here I'll show you that over here. So if I press P1, that turns my Vox on and off, and then if I hold P1, it actually goes into a scan. So that's going to scan whatever your selected scan list is. In this case, I have the NOAA weather channels as my selected scan list, and I can hold it again to turn it off. Super convenient. So we're going to do that over here real quick. So P1 short, I'm going to set that to, don't know where Vox is on here. There it is. Perfect. So we'll set that to Vox, and then P1 long press. There we go. We will set that, let me see, to scan. There we go, scan. Awesome, there we go. So now we can try that out. So P1, if we short press it, it's going to cycle through our Vox options. Now beware with Vox, if you turn it on in a noisy environment, you could run into trouble with it actually picking up the noise around you and transmitting it. So if you're going to use Vox, make sure you know your environment and have the ability to have a, to use it properly, because you don't want to turn Vox on and then have, music playing, transmit over the radio, and then, that come back to you, because, Vox, basically the radio is transmitting for you, but it's still your responsibility. So if someone says something they shouldn't, and it's on Vox and it hears it, ultimately that's kind of on you. So you do have to be careful with Vox. I've turned it on before in a noisy environment, it starts transmitting. Luckily, you can turn the radio off and then turn it back on, and you can just turn Vox off. It usually will let you. So I haven't really had trouble with this. I don't really use Vox a lot, but I do like having it on there for the occasional time when you need it. And for those of you who are not familiar with what Vox does, that allows the radio to transmit for you. So there's different levels on there, but it will actually notice when you start speaking, and then it will actually transmit for you. So instead of you having to manually press a button, it will just start transmitting for you. This can be great if you're wearing like a headset and have it, it's kind of a specific use application, but it does work. Perfect. And then, so if we hold that button, we get the scan, and there we go. We don't really have a scan list at this point, but it looks like it's just scanning through our channels. There we go. Awesome. Okay, let me see here. What have we missed? Want to change a few more things on here. So we've got our subchannel, we've got our transmit power, subchannel hide, scan, digital monitor. Let me see here. We've changed our text color. There's a couple more things we can do real quick. So personally, I'm going to turn the volume all the way down for this. Some people like to have the FM radio, which I personally think it's cool to have that on there. There's mixed feelings about that, but this radio will do it, which is cool. And when I say FM, I'm not referring to the FM radio like we're used to. This is actually the FM music stations. But what you can do is set this blue button up here to turn that on. And there you go. You have an FM radio that will play your local stations, and you can cycle through them. And then you can just simply turn that off, and it turns it off. It's really as simple as that. And we can do that over here. So I'm going to select Menu, Settings, and then Radio Set. key function. And this button up here is PF3. So PF3. There we go. Go in there real quick. Let's see, hopefully I didn't pass it. I must have gone past it there. FM radio. There we go. So we can select that and back out. Make sure our volume's turned down, and sure enough, FM radio on. Awesome, and we can see we can cycle through that. Just like that, you know, you can tune it in, and you can even punch in your, you know, whatever FM frequency you want as well. You know, 10, whatever, and then use the pound key. There you go, perfect. So you have your FM radio set, and to turn it off, you just simply turn it off. That simple. Now, what we could also do, which will be better for what we're about to do here, is go into settings and let's see, we'll go down and let me see here. Actually, we're going to need the CPS for the next one. So this is basically the button combination I like to have. Makes the radio really easy to use. You know, you have your, you can switch between your sub channel. You turn that on or off very easily. It's very, you know, clutter-free. You can see everything on the screen. Easy to distinguish between your channel and zone. You have your Vox. You have your scan. Super convenient, the scan function. You just hold it down, start scanning, hold it down, turn it off. Just like that. Very easy to use, but there's one other thing we can do, which is going to require your computer in the CPS, which is we can actually make a disconnect button. So those of you who use DMR and are on the talk groups, you know, with your SkyBridge, what you can do is make a shortcut for the disconnect. Now this is great if you're talking, you know, to a lot of talk groups. That way you don't have to scroll all the way back through to find the disconnect. You can literally just make a button, press it, and you disconnect. Well, it's pretty much that simple. You press the button, then key up the radio, and it disconnects for you. So we actually do that for all of our plug-and-play packages. We set it up that way to make it real easy, but we're going to show you how to do that today. So go ahead and open up your computer. Let's see, we'll get our programming cable plugged in here real quick. And we definitely want to read from the radio first. That way we don't lose anything. Okay, awesome. And I'm going to turn on GPS real quick. Just so there's something else I want to show you guys if we can get a GPS lock. It's difficult to in this building, in the studio. So we'll see if we can. If not, it's no big deal. But let's see. Get logged in here. Perfect. So open up your CPS. I'm going to open up the software for this radio. And don't forget, if you guys have questions, we'd be more than happy to talk to you, you know, one-on-one about it. We have some in-house ham radio operators and very helpful people standing by to help you with this stuff. Just give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2. And we'd be more than happy to help you with your questions, help you get set up with a radio. You know, if you have trouble with a radio, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to help. So from here, just go ahead and click on the COM port icon in your software. And if any of you don't know how to install the software, don't have the software, we have lots of videos that show you how to do that. So just let us know and we can direct you to one of them. There we go, read data complete, perfect. So at this point, before we do this, you know, this next setting we're going to change would imply we already have talk groups. We already have a bunch of talk groups. We're using them with the SkyBridge. But in this case, we don't actually have them yet. So I do have to at least create a talk group to be able to do this. So we're going to create one real quick. So I'm going to create the disconnect talk group. And the number is 4,000. And there we go, perfect. So talk group 4,000 disconnect. Now, the way we do this is actually really cool. So the software has this button called hotkeys, or hotkey, And what hotkey allows you to do is actually create custom keys that you can assign as custom keys on your radio. That way we can actually create a hotkey to disconnect us from talk groups. So what we're going to do is change our mode here. We're going to change that to call, just like that. And then menu, we'll leave that alone. And analog, we're going to change that to digital for the call type. And then for the call object, we're going to select this one. Oops. There we go. Double click on that. And we're going to select our contact. This is going to be talk group disconnect. Now, you can do this for anything. You can make a button that will take you directly to the Missouri talk group or to the worldwide talk group. Whatever talk group you want, you can make buttons that take you directly there. So if there's a talk group you use all the time, you can do this. So we'll select this one. Oh, perfect. Selected there. And now we want the call type to be a group call. Perfect. So we are set up there. Now click OK. Now we're going to open up the optional settings for the radio and then go to, let me see, I believe it's key function. Where's key function? Key function, there we go. And I'm going to assign this to PF3, that button on top. Let's see, PF3. Short key is set to FM radio. And PF3 long key, let's assign it to the long key. That way you can hold it down. Or you know what, better yet, this is going to be used a lot more than the FM radio. So we're going to assign it to, we're going to put the long key, PF3, to FM radio. And then we're going to assign the PF3 short key to our new hotkey. So there we go, hotkey 1. Now the hotkeys, to my knowledge, they do have to be done in the CPS, but you can do pretty much everything else on the radio. In fact, if you're out in the field and find a feature that, wow, I really wish I had this, I wish I didn't have to go in the menu every time, there's probably an option in there for you. That's what I have done with this radio. Whenever I've been out, I'm like, wow, I wish I had that button. I just go program it in real quick. There we go, so hotkey 1. We'll click OK and go ahead and write this to the radio. And while we're at it, I don't have this on the show notes, but I want to show you guys how to do this real quick. It's really easy to add a custom image because that's kind of the final step to customizing your radio. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. We'll change the standby picture. So you go to Tool and then Standby BK Picture 1, and we'll open an image. The CPS for your radio actually comes with all the images, so you don't have to go search for them. Okay, we'll go to our desktop. Find this AnyTone background. Oops, let's see here. AnyTone custom background. There we go. Awesome. So these are all of the backgrounds that come for your radio. So we'll find one that looks good here. Let's see. Let's see, what one do we have on that radio? Let's go ahead and choose this one. It looks decent. There's a lot of good options though. Maybe this one. This one looks cool. We'll go with it. There we go. Click OK. And then simply write that to the radio. There we go. It's complete. Now we have to wait for the radio to turn back on here real quick. And we want to select that in our optional settings too. So we'll go in there and click on Display. And then Standby BK Picture. We'll select that to Custom 1. And click OK. And then, well, while we're here, why not do this as well? If you open up optional settings, you can go to Power On and select Custom Character, which is selected there, and enter your own information. So I'm going to put Cody and my call sign W3AMG. Awesome, there we go. So that's going to show up when it boots now. So we'll select OK and just simply write this. COM3 selected. We're going to write this to the radio. Now we don't need to select the digital contact list for this. So we should be in good shape. You can also make a custom boot image for your radio as well. There we go, OK. Great, so we should have everything in the radio now. We can try it out real quick. I'll show you how it works. Okay, perfect. Now, this is assuming you actually have channels set up to talk to the SkyBridge. Now, we haven't done that yet. So if you have a code plug in there that works with your hotspot or whatever device you're using, this function is going to work. Now, in this case, I can press it. We can see there. But we don't actually have that channel programmed in there, so it's not going to work for us at the moment. But as soon as you put those channels in there, it'll work for you. So how cool is that? We have our new custom display, and pretty much everything has been customized to our own. So you can do a lot with this radio to make it personal. But let's take some questions, see what you guys think. There's a lot of customization. I'd love to hear what you guys use as your primary buttons as well. Let's work together, find some great options for everyone out there. And while we're doing that, just to remind you guys, we are going to be giving away one of these radios on the stream today, here in a few minutes. So make sure you're entered to win one of these if you're not already. Don't want to miss out. You do have to be present to win, so stick around. Let's see, do we have any questions?
Is there a way to display both name and frequency together?
Great question. So I assume you're referring to the channel name and the frequency. As far as I know at the moment, there's no way to do that. Now, what you can do, if you want to be able to easily switch back and forth, you can actually create a shortcut for it. There is a button that will allow you to do that. So you can just create a shortcut on any of the custom buttons, just like we did, to switch between them.
Is this radio programmable using Chirp?
Unfortunately, this is not programmable using Chirp. But the software it comes with works great for it. Most everything can be done from the radio, and if it can't, it can easily be done through the programming software.
Does digital monitoring listen to any traffic on the repeater regardless of that channel/talk group is programmed?
So digital monitor will listen to your repeater, yeah, regardless of if what talk group is programmed. Now it's only going to hear traffic that goes through your repeater. It's like obviously if you have a DMR repeater and you wanted to listen to a specific talk group, someone else would have to key into that talk group if you're just using digital monitor and not keying in yourself. But it will hear everything at that point if someone does. And double time slot allows you to hear both time slots as well.
Does all of this have to be done using the front panel, or can it be done in the programming software?
It can, absolutely. Everything we covered here can be done from the programming software. I just wanted to show you on the front panel because these kind of features typically, at least for me, were things that I would find out in the field. I'm like, man, I wish I had this. And then it's like, oh wait, I probably do. So then I just program it in. That's how I came to my conclusion on the menus I like to use. But if you know what you like, you can definitely set it up in the software.
Does Vox work while using a hand mic?
It does, yeah. You can have Vox set up to work with a headset, a mic, anything. Vox will work.
Is there a simple way to keep the radio in scan mode to channels?
Yeah, I mean, you can easily, we set up a shortcut for it, so you hold this down and it scans. I guess I don't fully understand your question to keep it there. It'll stay in scan mode as long as you want. It's not a problem. Must not fully understand your question.
What is a super code plug and why do I need one?
Sure, so the super code plug is designed to work for the radio and the SkyBridge hotspot. Now what it will do for you is it will get you access to almost all of the talk groups out there, 78 international talk groups, all 50 states, the NOAA weather channels, and you know, the most popular talk groups as well. We throw a few of them in there. So you're going to be talking to people around the world in no time with it, as opposed to spending, you know, hours or even days building up that code plug from scratch. So, you know, it's a huge, huge time saver. You know, save you a lot of time and money, and you'll be on the air in no time with it. Now, if you don't have a SkyBridge, we would recommend you get one. It's going to open up your DMR opportunities a lot for you. But let's say you have a local repeater. You can even use the super code plug with it. You just have to change a couple things, change the frequencies over, and you'll be set.
Is the programming software included with the radio or sold separately?
It is, yeah. Programming software is free for download with the radio. So if you get one of these radios, the programming software is completely, you know, free. It's included with it, absolutely.
Does the 878 have full APRS functionality?
So the brand new 878 UV2 Plus that came out recently has functionality for APRS, receive and transmit for GPS location. So it will both receive and transmit your GPS location, as opposed to the older ones that would really only transmit that location.
Do these setting changes come in my new AT878 UV2 Plus if it is included in a super code plug?
Great question. So we do include some basic setup changes in the supercode plug, but as for everything here, that's not currently offered. If that's something you guys would like to see in the supercode plug, or maybe something like that down the road, let us know. You know, let us know what ones are, you know, real important to you to have in there. What key buttons that you guys really like, and maybe we can implement something like that. I think it's a great idea. But currently, really the only one that's implemented, it is made to be functional. It will certainly work for you. But the main one that's implemented is the disconnect. That makes it really easy to use. But, you know, let us know what you like. We're open to implementing some of that.
How long does the battery typically last when monitoring?
That's a good question. That battery will last almost forever, it seems like. We ought to do a test sometime. I think that's a great idea, just to monitor straight, you know, how many days it lasts. Typically on my battery, shoot, I'll get maybe a couple weeks out of it with quite a bit of monitoring use. You know, if you're monitoring straight, it's probably only going to last a few days. But it lasts a long time. Transmitting is where it will eat up the power a little bit if you're transmitting a lot with the radio. But if you just have it turned on and have the screen off monitoring, it lasts a long time. You know, 3,100 milliamp hours, so you probably get about, you know, 31 hours of use, give or take. You know, it just depends. But we've had really good luck with the batteries, and that's what people tend to say. I do like having a couple, so I can have one on the charger and then one in the radio. That way, when it comes time to switch it out, you don't have to wait for it to charge up. You just swap the battery out, and you're back on the air.
Is it possible to scan different talk groups on the 878 when using a hotspot?
It is, absolutely. You can scan, I believe you can scan through talk groups. Typically the talk groups are pretty active, so you may have trouble with that. I haven't tried that personally, so I don't know the specifics on how you would go about that or why you would, but I believe you can do that. But yeah, certainly let us know, or maybe someone here who's tried it before can let us know how that works.
Can they receive weather or other beacons, like repeaters or eye gates, etc.?
So you can, with the, so with APRS, you can, it's just the GPS location data. So like an eye gate, you can transmit to or you know, receive location data from another radio, or you can transmit it to an eye gate. Absolutely. So for the GPS, you know, if there's another radio in your area transmitting that, or if it's like I believe, I'm not personally super familiar with eye gates. I know they can transmit that information to the internet. Not sure if they'd repeat it as well. So if they do, then these can receive it. But they can. It's just the GPS location what they can receive and transmit.
Is there a way to do D-Star or YSF using these radios without a hotspot, or an internet is not available?
Nope, these are just DMR and analog, but they'll work great for, standard analog repeaters too if you don't have DMR in your area.
Can I listen in to commercial frequencies outside of handbands?
You can, absolutely. So commercial frequencies, now if you are a commercial user, have all that licensing, or you're a business, something like that, you can purchase a commercial version of this. They are Part 90 approved, so we can get you set up with that. Just give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2. But if you're just an amateur radio user like yourself or me, you can actually listen to those frequencies and just not be able to transmit on them. So it will absolutely let you listen, you just can't transmit on them.
Do I need an external program to create a custom background image?
If you want to create your own, possibly. You can probably do it with a built-in program on your computer, although I haven't tried that myself. Don't know if that's possible. It probably is. You just have to have a specific dimension image, and it either has to be a bitmap or a JPEG image. And I forget the dimensions. I might be able to look it up here real quick. Let's see, we can see. I'll let you guys know here in a second. I'm going to find it real quick for you, those dimensions. Let's see. So those dimensions are, we'll just look at the properties on one real quick. Okay, details. Okay, I wondered if this was it, but I wasn't sure. The width is 160 pixels, and the height is 128 pixels. So you just want to make sure whatever image you import into it is that specific size. So you could, use, I think Paint is what Microsoft computers come with, or some kind of application like that to scale it down if you don't have Photoshop or anything. And there's probably web programs out there that will do the same thing for you. So it should be pretty easy to make an image.
Does this software work for the 878 and the 578?
So the software for each radio is different, but they work basically the same. So everything we went over today can be done on the 578 just as easily. And if you have a code plug for your radio, all of the contacts, talk groups, channels, everything like that can actually be transferred over very, very easily. Now, the optional settings, you will have to redo them on your other radio. But if you've already done them once, it's very easy to just go through and check them again.
Can you lock the keys?
You can, actually. There is a way to lock the keys. Haven't done that for a while. We didn't cover that today, but we can certainly cover that in the future. But there is a way to lock the keypad, I do believe. Maybe someone in the comments might be able to chime in on how to do that.
Does the SkyBridge transcode different modes, such as communicate on D-Star on DMR handhelds?
So the SkyBridge actually will allow you to cross mode. I know it does with System Fusion. I believe a couple of the other modes as well. It will work on Fusion, D-Star, NXDN, DMR, everything like that. So if you're wanting something that will allow you to talk to a lot of different modes, this is definitely the way to go.
Is the AnyTone earpiece compatible with any other radio brands?
That's a great question. It is a Bluetooth earpiece. So I don't see why it wouldn't be, but we have not tried it with them. So we can't guarantee that at this point. But if you find out it works well with one, let us know.
Is the Motorola DMARC network in the supercode plug?
That's a good question. I don't believe so. No, it's possible. I don't believe that's in there, though.
How much is the programming cable for the radio?
Programming cables, I believe the cable by itself is just $20, but they actually come with the radio. So if you buy the radio, we give you the programming cable and the software for free. You don't have to buy those separately.
Can you connect multiple things to the radio via Bluetooth, such as earpiece and push-to-talk button?
You can. That's actually one really cool feature with this radio. the push-to-talk button is on a separate Bluetooth, channel or wavelength, however they do that. And the earpiece or the car stereo, whatever you want to connect up, is separate. So you can have the Bluetooth push-to-talk operating on your steering wheel, and then have the earpiece or your car stereo connected up to the radio as well, and they work simultaneously. Now, you can even connect up multiple devices to your radio, like your earpiece, your car, a speaker, something like that, and have it work with them too. Now, obviously, you can't use multiple audio devices at the same time, but to answer your question, yes, absolutely.
Can you pull repeaters from Repeater Book automatically in the programming software?
You cannot. No, you would just basically take that repeater book information and then add it to the programming software, for your local area. Now, someone's probably already built a code plug for your area before you. That's typically, what happens. So we recommend, we actually have a resource on our website where you can download code plugs. It's kind of a shared community added resource. People upload their code plugs and then take code plugs for different areas. It's kind of a library of different code plugs built out. We have, I think, almost every state on there now, a code plug for different areas. So definitely check that out. There could be a code plug in your area.
Does the programming software run on Linux?
At this time, it is Windows only. So now, if you don't have a Windows computer, I know there's some virtual machines out there that allow you to run Windows on either your Mac or your Linux computer, or what I chose to do is just buy an inexpensive Windows computer just purely for my radios.
All right, it looks like we have a winner for today's giveaway.
Awesome. So we have a winner today. Before we announce the winner, just want to let you guys know you can still sign up for the ham radio heavyweights giveaway going on. There's over $3,000 worth of ham radio gear that you could win. But let's find out who the winner is. Now, you do have to be present to win. So don't go away just yet. Let's find out if he's here.
I apologize in advance for this name, but Kenneth Klimazowinski, call sign N1KK.
Kenneth, N1KK, are you in the house? Let's see. Let's see, we'll wait a few seconds here. There we go. Is that him?
It looks like he's here.
Awesome. Congratulations to you, Ken. You have just won yourself a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus radio. So we'll get that shipped out to you. We'll get in contact with you for your information. But anyway, thank you all for attending. It wouldn't be possible without you. This is what it's all about. If you know anyone who is interested in radio, wants to learn more about it, wants a radio, or they need help using their radio, send them here. That's a great resource. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time, we're going to have BridgeCom University live and teach you more about your radio. So that's it for now. I'd love to hear what you guys actually like for custom keyboard shortcut commands on your radio. Let us know. Post it in the comments. Maybe we can implement it in the Supercode plug. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm Cody, W3AMG 73.